Well, disaster for DC and Aquaman 2. Its long-range box office tracking, which has actually been very accurate lately, points to it opening to $32 million or $42 million. Now, this is terrible for a film that's a reportedly $205 million budget. It's likely higher than that, and certainly will be higher than that with its marketing budget included. Even just on the $205 million, it needs to hit well in excess of $410 million to start breaking even. That's without its marketing budget. Being kind to it, maybe $50 million. It will be more than that, but if it's a $50 million marketing budget, you're looking at over $500 million to break even. This film, with its $32 to $42 million debut, will struggle. It will really, really struggle, I think, personally, to get anywhere close to $400 million worldwide. Now, I say that, and I know there'll be detractors in the audience watching this now going, yeah, but the original grossed over $1 billion and opened to $70-odd million opening weekend. Yes, true. But that was at the peak of sort of superhero movies in that sort of way, and I think it's also important to recognise that this Aquaman, the movie itself, was something different for DC at the time. I think people were intrigued at something a little bit different there, and I think people, generally speaking, have checked out from DC because they know full well that this isn't going to be going anywhere. Now, I think that's also sad because it goes to show that are people only interested in these films because they go somewhere? Surely standalone entertainment can work as well, but I think it's important. Let's take a look, right? So Box Office Pro here. 2 key Christmas weekend releases are the subject of this week's report, as theatres hope to close out the year on a high note. Well, theatres need to start discussing things a bit more with production companies then, because holy shit. So this film, opening weekend, $32 to $42 million. Domestic total, it thinks it will scrape, on the low range, $105 million domestically in its entire run. That's so bad. That is so bad. Now, their pros are very mid-pros, with a slim release slate lacking many major event films toward the end of the holiday season. This sequel is theoretically in a prime position to draw general audiences. It opens December 22nd, so it is kind of primed, ready to go for a big draw, but I just don't see it. The first film was a surprise blockbuster, earning $335 million domestically and $1.15 billion globally, amidst a similarly modest late December theatrical slate in 2018. Now, I think the hilarious factor in all of this, 5 years later, you have to account for inflation, and inflation's gone out of control. So $105 million, well, $333 million in today's money, yeah, significantly more, actually. And this film was only slated to do $105 million or $168. I honestly think it will struggle to do $105 million because it's important to note this film is only pacing 25% ahead of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That movie barely scraped those types of numbers. Shazam! And also 62% behind Black Adam. Currently, Black Adam is actually looking like a success compared to everything else, which is absolute comedy gold. But let's take a look. They've got, more cons. What are their cons? The general audience's appetite for comic book movies has evolved and narrowed substantially in the 5 years since the first Aquaman came out. True. DC films have seen a particularly sharp decline, with underperformances by Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Blue Beetle this year. True. Early pre-sales are pacing 25% ahead of the aforementioned Shazam! Sequel and 62% behind Black Adam. After 1 day of sample market tracking, the holiday release pattern could skew one-to-one comparisons in certain models. But what else is releasing? Well, Migration Universal and Illumination movie. Universal and Illumination have done incredibly well lately. I mean, Super Mario Brothers movie, Minions. They've done so well with these films. Isn't it funny how this film is likely to do more in its entire domestic run than Aquaman 2. But anyway, we have this. I do like the fact that they've got Godzilla -1 on there. So 3-day opening, 5 million to 9 million. I'm going to say I actually think it'll be more than that. I think it'll be much more than that. I think there's a real hunger for that Godzilla film. Silent Night, Renaissance, Beyonce thing, The Shift, etc. Then we scroll a bit down. Wonka. Wonka's going to be a big flop if it only does that. That's not good. That's not good at all. Domestically, it'll be pretty good. $210 million worldwide, but still not great. And then we got this, Aquaman. 32 million. But again, that migration could do $250 million worldwide. That is insane. Now, again, interestingly, the first one did $65 to $70 million. Opening weekend, 120 million over its first 5 days. 120 million over its first 5 days. This film is tracking to struggle to do that in its entire domestic run. Holy crap, things are bad for these films. This cost $205 million reportedly. We know that they wash their financials. This is likely to be so much more than that. So yeah, I mean, if you're being very kind, but well, if you're being very kind, it still needs to do $500 million. The general thought is that it's equal to or 50% of the production budget. So $100 million on marketing, $300 million over $600 million to break even. That is insane. That is genuinely insane, and it will struggle to do. I genuinely believe it will struggle to do $100 million domestic. I could be wrong, but I just don't see the interest. I don't see the hunger. And I think they've really screwed themselves here. And by the way, this might be a great film. I'm not saying it is a bad film. But they've screwed themselves by coming out and announcing that they're just going to drop everything. They didn't need to do that. They've absolutely screwed themselves. I mean, it'll be lower. It'll be a lower opening than the Marvels. And we know how bad that's done. Yeah, real bad, guys. Real bad. But leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear it. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.